The pandemic.
Coronavirus. A surge in infections.
100,000 cases.
Coronavirus crisis.
And social distance.
Coronavirus surge.
Another lockdown.
I am so tired of news anchors talking about COVID. I've seen enough fancy graphics packages and world-renowned experts to last a lifetime. So let's do something different. That's me. I wanted to talk to some of the everyday, common people in my life about how quarantine has impacted them. Thankfully, the most common man I know lives next door, as in literally the next door. My roommate, Nick. The moment I walked into Nick's bedroom, I could feel a second pair of eyes judging my every move. Alice does whatever she wants, doesn't care about anybody else, and generally acts like a spoiled princess. That's what I do. She doesn't like me, and I don't like her. Start by you telling us about what a day in the life has been for you during quarantine.
I normally I get up and then I sit on my computer and do whatever school and work I have to do. And that's like every single day.
It was exactly as I expected. Sad. Do you find yourself doing anything new or different, new hobbies, something that you picked up?
I didn't really pick up very many hobbies that didn't immediately hurt me.
Nick has a broken foot. I know this because for the last 2 months, everywhere we've been together, I've had to give him piggyback rides. How'd that happen?
I was kickboxing.
An unlikely story from someone with so many icons on their desktop.
I took a kickboxing class and I broke my foot near the end of it. I stepped on it, it made a really loud cracking noise.
So you weren't like kickboxing another person?
No. No, it was a bag of sand. I hit it more than it hit me.
I think it's safe to say it won in the end.
Oh, for sure it did definitely win. But I gave it a run for its money. The hospital, so I just went in. They were actually pretty empty, pretty calm and chill. I think I hit it at a pretty good time, I guess, in coronavirus.
Did you happen to purchase any like LED lights during this whole quarantine thing?
Yes, I did. For all of Halloween, I had them orange. But now since it's fall, they're kind of still orange.
Remember this for later when I crack this whole pandemic business wide open. I knew exactly who I had to talk to next, so I took a little walk over to my best friend Lauren's apartment.
Hello.
Lauren is the only person I know who's actually had COVID, and looking around her apartment, it was easy to see why. I wonder what else I could catch just by being here.
Hi.
The main thing that we wanted to know is how COVID has affected your lifestyle and how quarantining has been for you.
Well, it all started so long ago. I honestly can't even remember anymore. It might have messed with my brain when I got it.
Clearly.
It's not fun. I was at work. I'm a working woman. I gotta do my thing. Gotta get that money.
It had only been a few minutes and I already had absolutely no idea what Lauren was talking about.
There's typical people who don't want to wear their mask.
Do you always wear a mask everywhere you go outside?
And yeah, I basically got it.
So what is a day in the life of Lauren during quarantine like? Lauren got distracted when a cat walked by her window. That's not a joke I wrote. That actually happened.
When I did quarantine, I kind of just sat here in this very spot doing nothing. I was pulling my hair out. I was gonna go crazy. I'd sit on my balcony sometimes and my neighbor would come out and he'd be like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Ah, don't come near me."
Lauren doesn't have any pets. She can barely remember to feed and walk herself. But she was weirdly excited to show off her collection of stuffed animals.
This is Chimkon.
And that's spelled?
Chimkon.
Right.
Chimkon. He's really cool. I've had him for a long time.
So do you know anybody else that's had it and dealt with it?
Yeah, well, all my coworkers. My other coworker just got it again, actually. So I might have it again.
Really?
Yeah.
What the hell was that? I guess I needed to add getting tested for COVID to my list of things to do today. Before I left, I discovered Lauren had also fallen victim to the LED light industry.
Hey Google, turn on my gamer lights.
It was enough to make you wonder what these lights may have had to do with all this COVID business. I figured I should talk to at least one actual adult who was dealing with actual adult problems. Tyler doesn't let me come to his apartment often because I always bring his cat Pixel some leaves to play with and he makes a mess. It's not my fault though, Pixel really likes leaves. After what I just learned at Lauren's, there was one question I needed to ask Tyler immediately. You've got some LED lights over here. Did you buy those during the quarantine?
No.
I'm cutting this part out of the movie. The number one rule of journalism is to have an agenda and manipulate the footage however necessary in order to prove it. Start by giving us what a day in the life is like for you during quarantine.
I wake up, I play with this little boy, I go to work, and then I come back to hang out with you guys. And that is my day.
General experience with the pandemic and COVID, how has it treated you?
Shitty. I had a contract with Marc Jacobs to start in January. I was gonna live in New York, and they were gonna pay for a lot of stuff and help me pay off my loans by working at Marc Jacobs. And then they were like, and maybe next time.
None of the things Tyler said really fit the tone of my lighthearted documentary. I just felt bad for him, and to be honest, I was still thinking a lot about those LED lights. So, generally, not very good.
Thanks for coming.
Holy shit, that was depressing. When I thought back on it, I realized everybody's stories had been kind of sad, so I decided to go visit the only person I know who's never had a single bad thing happen to him in his entire life. Hello. Apparently, I had interrupted some very important gaming when I arrived at exactly the time we scheduled for our interview. Andrew's cat is so small. Holding him in my hand gave me a surreal sense of power that I'm still reckoning with to this day. The first thing I want to ask you is what a day in the life of Andrew has been like over the past 6 months or so.
If I'm working, it's wake up, play Animal Crossing before work, and then come back and just pass out. If I'm not working, it's play Animal Crossing, and that is pretty much it. At the beginning of quarantine, actually, me and my friend decided to start biking.
It's like he was living in a fairy tale. So, Animal Crossing.
That has been my rock, literally. That game, you have no idea. I think I passed the 600-hour mark.
In case you're wondering, that's 25 days, and it begs the question, is Andrew okay? So, has anything bad or unfortunate happened to you during quarantine?
I had to get a job. It's just too much.
That was about what I expected. After all these interviews, I still had no better understanding of how we got here or where we were going next. Then I noticed something in my footage. How long do you think that this whole pandemic quarantine thing is going to go on?
Oh, God.
Oh God.
Oh.
I don't know. I really don't.
I feel like we're probably not as close to being done as I wish we were.
Probably a lot longer, honestly.
In America, it's gonna take a while.
And now winter quarter is still gonna be online, so I don't know.
At least, we still had our optimism.